Good evening, and welcome to Creative Broadcasting, the station of unlimited possibilities, presents Creating Your Seat at the Table with your host, Ashley Little, as she welcomes her guest to the table.
Welcome to Creating Your Seat at the Table. I am your host, Ashley Little, corporate professional by day, entrepreneur by night, two-time best-selling author, host of Authors on the Rise, speaker, owner and creator of Creative Broadcasting, and co-founder and owner of Talk Radio and TV Network, LLP. Today we have a special VIP guest. His name is Velton Showell. A little bit about Velton. Velton is a dynamic, nationally recognized speaker, trainer, published author, and business consultant. He seeks to teaches and trains clients all over the United States and the Caribbean, encouraging them to transform their thinking to move their professional and personal performance from good to great. Beginning in the late 80s, Velton began to utilize his talent for connecting people and helping them achieve higher levels of success. In 1983, Velton's life changed as his life moved over 500 miles away from family and friends to embark on a career in the hospitality industry. Realizing how fulfilling and difficult a transform like this could be, Velton began to develop himself and utilize his experiences to help others that may be going through similar situations. He was destined to serve others. He began to better understand the true meaning of a service mentality. Velton began in hotel operations as a management trainee and then a night manager, handling the problems and difficult situations that arose in a hotel running 98% occupancy on an annual basis. Yes, maintaining your focus and high levels of achievement were essential to success in that environment, and it helped groom Velton very well for the path he was about to embark upon. Velton continued his education and growth in the hospitality industry, moving across the country and into sales positions at numerous hotels with some of the most exclusive and highly sought-after hotels in the country. Serving as a sales manager and later director of sales and marketing, Velton learned how to not only navigate the selling process himself, but how to teach, train, and motivate his staff to high levels of success. Achieving the position of director of sales and marketing opened Velton's eyes and mind to his passion for helping others and mentoring individuals in search of greatness. He became a corporate trainer and was often called upon to lead training sessions for large groups on the regional and national levels. After record-breaking years of success, which included leading the sales team of the year for a major hotel chain and taking another sales operation from $24 million to $98 million in 4 years, Velton began to develop and write his own training curriculum. In 2008, during one of the most difficult economic times in recent history, Velton launched his company, Strategic Solutions, LLC, to share his sales, service, and leadership knowledge with businesses around the world. His first book, Prospecting the Key to Your Future Success, hit the market in 2010 and quickly became in great demand. He has since written additional books titled Strategic Planning, Planning to Win. He co-authored a book dedicated to the memory of Harriet Tubman and Nelson Mandela, entitled The Daughters and Spirit of Harriet, and is writing a new book soon to be released entitled Leadership Dynamics, 52 Principles Every Successful Leader Understands. Velton has spoken and trained many highly successful corporate executives in multiple industries on stages, at meetings, and conventions throughout the United States. He hosts a weekly radio show on Blog Talk Radio entitled The Transformation Zone on Thursday evenings at 6 p.m. Eastern, and co-host of the Black CEO Morning Radio Show each morning, Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 9:30 a.m. And he's also the host of the Virtual CEO Society, Tuesdays at 2 p.m., the co-host of the Black CEO Boardroom on Demand Show at 7 p.m. on Thursday evenings. Velton continues to work with and speak to sales professionals and those in leadership positions to increase productivity, improve their relationships, and achieve peak performance levels. Welcome to the amazing Velton Showell.
Well, thank you very much, Ashley. It's a pleasure to be here. I am very excited and honored that you selected me and asked me to participate in your event. I'm very proud of the work that you are doing and glad to be able to support you.
Thank you so much, Velton. I'm honored and humbled to be able to interview you today. So would you please tell us more about your entrepreneurial journey, how it started, where you're at now, because you're doing some amazing things. So if you could share with us some of it, we would be happy to hear more.
Well, sure. My entrepreneurial journey probably started similar to a lot of people, but probably different from many others. I actually started my company in 2008. And 2007 and 2008 were probably the most difficult economic times that this country has seen in quite a while. But the issue with starting my company was not by choice. Many times when you're in your career or at the height of your career, somebody throws you a curve. And I was the director of sales at a major resort in South Florida, and we went into a meeting with the general manager and my boss at the time, who was the director of marketing, and they said, the owner just told us we need to cut $275,000 out of the marketing budget next year. And the only way we can get close is to downsize and go in a different direction. And unfortunately, that direction doesn't include you. So all of a sudden, this career that had been spiraling upwards and outwards, and these major accomplishments that I had done thus far had brought me to a point where my salary that I commanded and the position that I held put me in jeopardy with the company that I was with. So I had bills, a severance package, and a seminar that I had written in 1996, a workshop called Prospecting, the Key to Your Future Success. And that's all I had. And I had to make a decision as to what I was going to do. Was I going to let this defeat me, or was I going to go in a different direction, as they encouraged me to do, and figure out what the next phase of my life was going to be? So I came home and I started to think about it, and I put together the company that I have today called Strategic Solutions, LLC. And the first workshop that I had written in 1996, was called Prospecting, the Key to Your Future Success. And I had written it because I was asked to do a workshop for salespeople in the Southeast who were having difficulty prospecting. And when I wrote it, the regional vice president of that region really liked what I had done with his staff and told the other 5 vice presidents around the country that what I had done. So all of a sudden, they were calling my boss and asking my boss to allow me to become part of the training team and to come to their regions and train their sales staff. So as a corporate trainer, it allowed me the opportunity to learn. And those lessons were the lessons that helped me formulate Strategic Solutions, LLC with that workshop, which became the title of my first book. So that's what started my company. That's what launched me down the road to doing what I do today.
That's amazing. And you said something, many great takeaways that you just stated. But one thing that really stood out was you took what you learned from corporate America to build your business, because you have multiple ones. So the thing about it, I think a lot of entrepreneurs, a lot of people are so ready to, go full-time entrepreneur instead of, taking what they're learning right now in their position right now and utilizing that and learning to be able to take their businesses to the next level. So what would you say to that professional that's listening now that's really ready to make the transition, but because they're tired of being in that job, but what would you tell them what should they be doing now to learn before they step out into full-time entrepreneurship?
Well, depending on the amount of time that you've been doing something, if you've been doing a job or if you've been doing certain things in corporate America, you are becoming an expert at what you do. One of the real gems that we have to understand is you're going to be asked to do things in your current position that you don't feel as though you're being compensated for. You don't think it's part of your job description. You don't think it's fair that they're asking you to do this. But everything that they're asking you to do is an opportunity for you to learn something new. And if you take the opportunity that you're learning something that you're going to be able to utilize down the road, you can seize these small opportunities. You can jump over these small hurdles and turn stumbling blocks into stepping stones. But it's all about how you look at things. Mm-hmm. You know, I mean, I have my own company now, but I have a history, a long history of being put in positions that I didn't want to be in. When I went down to Atlanta to do that workshop, I had 27 salespeople of my own that I had difficulty with. If I had told the vice president or the senior vice president of sales and marketing who called me and asked me to do it that I was too busy, could he find someone else, I would have never written the workshop, which would have never birthed my first book. But I seized the opportunity and did it anyway. When I first tried to get into sales, they said to me, "You're not sales material." And I was forced to take a job for 18 months that everybody hated. It was basically the hotel night manager. But here's what it did. It was the complaint department of the hotel. I wanted to be in sales, not the complaint department. But what the complaint department taught me was all the things that the salespeople were promising customers and agreeing to that was exposing the hotel's weaknesses, that was putting us in a situation that we couldn't recover from, that we ended up having to rebate money for. So when I got my opportunity to move into the sales arena, I knew what not to do, what not to promise, what not to sell. But it's all about how you look at things. What's your mind? What is truly your objective? Do people have short-term and long-term goals? And if you have short-term and long-term goals, I'm going to ask a crazy question, and people are going to say, well, why would I do that? How many times do they change within a 3 to 5 year period?
Yeah.
So how many opportunities are you staring in the face from different standpoints in that scope, in that time period? Are you going into it with an open mind, or are you going into it with a closed mind, tunnel vision, and an attitude that says, I wish somebody would?
Love it. Love it.
Choices are.
Yes. To jumping over small hurdles and turning them into stepping stones and seizing every opportunity. Those are some awesome takeaways, Velton.
Thank you. You know, life is full of opportunities. You know, there's a saying that I love. It says, you never lose. You either win or you learn. So you never lose, because every stumbling block can be turned into a stepping stone based on the experience. You don't drown by falling in the water. You drown by staying there. And when you stay there, you sit there and you sulk. But if you're willing to start trying to paddle, tread water, breathe, move, stretch for the end of the side of the pool or the shore, sooner or later you start to learn to kick your feet. You start to learn to move your arms. You start to learn to take another breath. And as you do those things, you develop a new skill, a new process, a new idea that's going to take you to a new level, to a new opportunity. But here's the key. You'll never discover new oceans unless you're willing to lose sight of the comfortable shores that you're in right now.
Amazing. And which has led you into getting ready to write your upcoming new book, Leadership Dynamics, 52 Principles That Every Successful Leader Understands. Could you please tell us more about this awesome book that's getting ready to release?
Oh, this is my baby. I love this because leadership is something that everybody can participate in.
Yeah.
And everybody participates in it every day. From the time you're a child to the time you leave this earth, you're going to be a leader, even if the only person you lead is yourself. Because somebody's got to lead you through this world. So Leadership Dynamics, 52 Principles That Every Successful Leader Understands, really goes into the science of understanding how to get people to achieve things that even they don't believe they're able to achieve. And it's creating an environment for success, creating an environment that allows people to challenge the status quo. You know, Steve Jobs said, we hire brilliant people, not to tell them what to do, but for them to tell us how to get it done. And as a leader, the key element is to get the right people on the bus, get the wrong people off the bus. And once you get the right people on the bus, create the vision and get out of the way. Let them do what you hired them to do from an expertise perspective. And guide, don't steer. So Leadership Dynamics is all about those types of principles. I mean, I opened the book with one of the principles that is very important to every entrepreneur on this call. And that principle is something that when you're starting a business or when you're knee-deep in a business, you have to understand from the beginning. And that principle is have a vision, not a task list. Have a vision, not a task list. What do you mean, Velton? What I mean is, as I said, hire brilliant people to tell them how to get it done. But as the leader, you create the vision. You paint the picture. You're the Rembrandt brand. You're the Picasso. You are the artiste. You are not necessarily the painter. And this idea came to me from a couple of things. When I was working in a hotel on Miami Beach, we opened a hotel called the Royal Palm. And one of the restaurants was called Brito. And if you're not familiar, it was named after the artist Romero Brito. And Romero Brito is a Brazilian artist. He's like an Andy Warhol of the art industry. And Romero came in and he had a vision of how he wanted the restaurant laid out, how he wanted it painted, how he wanted things done. But what I noticed is Romero really didn't do most of the painting. He came in and created the vision. He gave them ideas of what he wanted where and which characters he wanted on what wall or what column. And then the people that he was mentoring came in and actually did the work. And they created an incredible masterpiece. So as the leader, you don't always have to touch everything. And sometimes as entrepreneurs, we want to touch everything because we think nobody can do it better than us. We should chart the course. You know, one of the quotes that I use in the book is by Theodore Hesburgh, and it says, the very essence of leadership is that you have a vision. It's got to be a vision that you articulate clearly and forcefully on every occasion. You can't blow an uncertain trumpet. So in leadership, we have to be able to play that trumpet loud and with confidence, but it doesn't mean that we have to be playing every instrument in the orchestra.
So what would you tell to an entrepreneur who fits in this category where they feel like they have to touch everything? What are some strategies for them to be able to trust their people enough to get to the next level if they feel like they have the right team? I know it starts with having the right team first, but what are some strategies for that entrepreneur to be able to step back and let their people work?
Well, usually that's the first problem that they have. The first problem that they have is they don't feel as though they have the right team. They don't feel comfortable or confident in the people that they've hired to do the job. They think they've got to be there all the time. If you feel as though you've got to be involved in every decision, if you feel as though you got to touch everything in your business, and you got to be the person that makes every decision, then you don't have a team. You have a solopreneur operation. You are everything there is. You know, Trevor Ott says something, and he says the biggest challenge that we have, especially as African-American leaders or entrepreneurs, is we feel as though our businesses should grow based on the essence of our labor. And we want to be always working and busy. Well, you become an entrepreneur so you don't have to work all the time. That's what I thought. You want to be able to create business-based wealth that allows you to take the kind of vacations that you want to take, spend the time with your family that you want to spend with them, do the things that you enjoy doing versus working all day. Well, to do that, you got to create the vision and trust the people that you have hired. The question is, what's your hiring process? What are you basing the members of your team's hiring structure on? You know, one of the stories I told a couple of weeks ago when I was just speaking at a conference was just about teamwork. And this is really for entrepreneurs. Think about this. Remember, one of the greatest basketball dynasties in recent history was the Chicago Bulls. Mm-hmm. When Phil Jackson brought in Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen and Joe Paxson and Dennis Rodman and all of those guys to build that Chicago Bull championship team, it took a while. But Phil Jackson said this. He said, good teams become great when the players and the organization trust each other enough to replace me with we. And as an entrepreneur and as a leader, it is our responsibility to build an environment that allows the people that work with us, not for us, with us, to understand their value to the organization and trust everybody in the organization enough to replace me with we.
That is pretty amazing, and that is true because, like you stated, everything does start there. So for all the listeners that are listening, make sure that we start our hiring process first and making sure we have the right players on our team. That is key, so that controls everything else. So thank you, Velton, for that awesome nugget. So what are the most useful resources you would recommend to someone looking to gain a better perspective into becoming a better leader?
There's a couple of things. Leaders are lifelong students. That means a couple of things. You know, it's now March 26th. Every year in December or in January, everybody makes a New Year's resolution. And the New Year's resolutions are, I'm going to do something different. I'm going to eat differently. I'm going to be more healthy. I'm going to go to the gym. I'm going to lose weight. And all of the health clubs and gymnasiums, their rolls just blow up. They're full. You can't get in the gym in January and February. But by April, they can't keep enough people in there. By April, all of those people who started out, most of them are gone. But my point here is this. We spend all of this money and all of this time exercising our body to try to get better and try to get healthier. The question I ask all entrepreneurs and their leaders is, what are you doing to strengthen the most powerful muscle in your body? Mm-hmm. Because the most powerful muscle in your body is your brain. Mm-hmm. So what are you feeding your brain? What are you doing to take care of your brain? One of the biggest issues with us as African Americans is we spend too much time watching television and listening to music. Music is great. I'm a jazz lover. I love music. But there is so much garbage going into our music and into our minds via TV that we should be spending that time doing other things. And I'll tell you why I say that. I made a commitment myself, and I'm not telling you to do something that I'm not doing personally. I turned off the radio in my car. I have a CD player, and I play motivational CDs, or I have Audible installed, and I listen to books. I listen to information that is helping me grow and making me stronger mentally, giving me information and techniques, strategies, and tactics that I can utilize to grow my business. I watch DVDs. I'm a professional speaker. I watch other speakers on stage. I watch their movement. I watch their facial expressions. I watch their delivery. I look at all types of things to help me get better at what I do. I'm strengthening myself just like I'm in the gym doing curls, bench presses, leg lifts, and on the treadmill. I'm doing everything I can to strengthen my position in my craft. If I'm truly committed to being the best that I can be at what I do, I got to put in the work.
Yeah.
Think about every athlete. Think about every musician. Think about every dancer. They are in their craft working every day to get better at what they do. As an entrepreneur, we go to work sometimes, and we're there, and we're just putzing around. We're going through the motion.
Yeah.
But are you really stretching yourself? Then we say, I've had enough of this. I need a break. And we go take a break, and we go either watch TV or we go listen to some music or we go eat. But the whole time we're there, how are we challenging ourselves to get better? How are we positioning ourselves to get better at what we do? If we're going to the gym and exercising, do we have a headset? And we have a headset on, what are we listening to? Are we listening to books? Are we listening to DVDs and CDs or MP3s or MP4s? When I wanted to become a speaker, I started listening to Les Brown religiously. I started listening to Willie Jolly religiously.
Yeah.
All of these guys, Brian Tracy, Zig Ziglar, I wanted to know what it is they do and how they do it because that was my ambition. That was my business. So I question and I ask each entrepreneur, if this is your passion, if this is who you are, what you want to do, what level of commitment do you have to it?
Yeah.
Are you working on strengthening the most powerful muscle in your body to give it the ammunition to take you to where you want to go?
And another question I would say, because it's so important that we all, as you stated, study our craft, absolutely. But why do you think some entrepreneurs want to win but not work?
It's easier. But here, let's put it this way. It's easier to win sometimes, but I'm going to tell you another story about working in the hotel business. I was in a meeting when I was working for a major hotel company, and we were reviewing our performance from the prior quarter with the senior vice president of operations of the company, the corporation. And I had one of my counterparts who had an amazing quarter and was off to a great year. Now, this was the best quarter that this particular hotel had in the last 4 or 5 years. And he was all excited and he was all braggadocious the whole time about what he had accomplished in the last quarter. And as he started talking about his numbers, he had won. He had outperformed all of us for that quarter. And at the end, when he finished parading around like a peacock, and he started talking to the senior vice president, and he asked the senior vice president, he says, how do you like our performance? How do you like the way we're doing? And the senior vice president said to him this. He said, consistency makes good performance great performance. If you're really interested in being consistent, you need to figure out how you won and what allowed you to win the last time and duplicate it, refine it, improve it, and continue to do great things consistently every quarter, every month, every week, every day.
I love that. And part of us, running successful businesses, as you know, is tied to people and our connections. So what is your definition of collaboration, and why is it so important in order for us to get to the next level? Why is collaboration so important?
No man or woman is an island. Okay? You cannot be successful consistently by yourself. George Fraser says your network will determine your net worth. And statistics have proven, if you take a look at the average wealthy person or the average poor person, the average person's income is the average of the 5 people that they spend the most time with. So if you are interested in making $300,000 a year and you're hanging out with people that make $50,000 a year, guess what? They can't help you make $300,000 a year. They can only help you make $50,000 a year because they don't know how to make $300,000 or they'd be making it.
Mm-hmm.
If you are making $50,000 a year and you want to make $500,000 a year, but you want to do it by yourself without a network, your resources are limited because you're only making $50,000 a year and you're only proficient at making $50,000 a year. You may get lucky and have a $75,000 a year or $100,000 a year, but for you to get to $500,000, you got to be able to utilize the resources, knowledge, and attributes of other people who have done it, who can pull you aside and say, hey, Velton, you need to change this. You need to adjust that. You need to try this over here. You need to go to talk to Ashley over there. Why? Because she's already done what you're trying to do, and she's done it by doing some things that you're not doing. Networks allow you to gain knowledge, information, and resources that you otherwise can't get.
Knowledge, information, and resources. I love that.
One of the things, again, that we have to understand is that the days of being a solopreneur are over.
Yeah.
And if you are not willing to collaborate, you are limiting your ability to succeed. There are no more secrets. A lot of people don't collaborate or don't network because they think somebody's going to steal my idea. Well, I'm here to tell you this, and you can say Velton said it. Nobody can steal your idea because Google already did it. There are no more secrets, okay? Google opened the door to all secrets. So if you're afraid somebody's going to steal your idea, get over it. It ain't happening. It's already gone. The question is, can you get it to a level where nobody does it better? That's the key.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
We've got 14-year-old kids, 16-year-old kids graduating from universities and starting their own companies. Okay?
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Do you think they're doing it independently, just by themselves? No.
No.
Kids share. They're willing to talk. Yeah. They're willing to network. They're utilizing their resources. It's us old folks who have that mentality of I got mine, you get yours. And I won't say where that came from, but everybody knows where it came from.
I love it. Google opened the doors to all secrets for all entrepreneurs and all listeners. Google opened the doors to all secrets. The key is getting it to a level where nobody can do it better than you, basically. Love that, Velton.
Exactly.
So as we get ready to wrap it up, what can we expect from you for the rest of 2019? Because I know you got some amazing things going on. I listen to Black CEO every morning, and you have your books and your businesses. So what are some other things that you have going on? I know you got tours and speaking events as well and conferences.
We've got some events that we're doing. I'm very well entrenched with Shay and Trevor, and we do a lot of things with the Black CEO movement. We just did Black and Influential last month in Virginia. Black and Influential 2020 is going to be in Atlanta. We're doing a tour. I'm actually doing some work here with the West Palm Beach area with the city of West Palm Beach and the county. The real issue right now for me is getting this book finished and launching this book, because there's so much in the book and there's so much to it. It's not just a book. It's basically it's a book. It's a calendar. It's screensavers. It's information to help you change your mindset on leadership and change your leadership style. So from soup to nuts, we're tackling it. I was in the studio earlier today, and I worked on a new keynote. And the keynote that I just wrote is called Make No Mistake, You Have More Than It Takes.
Love that.
The days of putting yourself down because you made a mistake or you didn't feel as though you were enough are over. There's a book that I read not long ago that I love by Jim Collins. It's called Average is Over.
Yeah.
The days of being average are over. Getting a C now doesn't matter anymore. You got to go for an A or a B, and a B is secondary. But the question and the thing that I'm working on today, for the rest of this year is helping entrepreneurs, business professionals, navigate the seas of transforming their thinking, changing their attitudes, changing their mindset to allow them to grow and prosper. Because without prospering, growth doesn't matter. You want to prosper.
Right.
You want to make more money. You want to make more accomplishments. You want to do greater things. You want to get to a point where you can surround yourself with experts, because other experts want to surround themselves with you.
Love that. And
that's
how
what I'm working on this year.
I'm so excited to hear your book. I'm so excited to get it when it comes out. I know it's going to help every leader and entrepreneur who reads it. And how can we follow and support and purchase your services and your books and follow you on tour? How can we do that, Velton?
There's a couple ways. My website is just my name, VeltonShowell.com. You can go to my website, and you can purchase my CDs and the books that I currently have on my website. You can also follow me on Facebook. My Facebook business page is Strategic Solutions LLC. You can ask to join. I post most of my videos that I record there, and I do a lot of training. There's three areas that I train in: sales, leadership development, and customer experience. So a lot of the Facebook Live, a lot of the videos that I do are basically focused on those three areas. You can follow me on LinkedIn. I'm very, very active in LinkedIn. I've got quite a few people that follow me on LinkedIn. I write articles and I post videos and things of that nature there. If you want to speak to me directly, you can send me an email at info@veltonshowell.com. I do some training. I only take 10 people a year, but I train 10 people a year. And we work on improving your performance, increasing your income, and taking your business to a dominating position in the marketplace. And those are the things that we drill down in and work on. I'll be doing some mastermind sessions this year for those people that are in my training program. I do 2 a year. And one of the concepts that Trevor and I are working on with the Virtual CEO Society is we're going to be doing quarterly mastermind dinners in different parts of the country. And we're going to be inviting other experts and trainers to sessions around the country so that entrepreneurs like yourself and other people have the opportunity to meet with us, break bread with us, network with us, and learn. So, George Fraser said it best, the biggest issue that we have is we need to learn, earn, and return.
Love it. Love it, love it, love it. So please follow Velton Showell. He's pretty amazing. He practices what he preaches, and he's just pretty amazing, as I stated. So listeners, please follow him. Definitely support his book, his tours, his speaking events, his services if you need them. All of us can definitely always remain a student and learn more from the experts themselves. So, Velton, I would like to thank you so much for taking time out of your very, very, very busy schedule to come on the show today. And I'm just so excited to see all the great things that you're going to continue to birth throughout this year.
Well, thank you very much, Ashley. I'm going to do one more thing, if you don't mind. For those of your listeners who stayed to the end, I'm going to give them something. How's that? Does that work?
Awesome. Yes.
Okay. If they text the word transformation 19 to 954-329-0281. Transformation 19 to 954-329-0281. I will give you an ebook that I wrote. And the ebook that I wrote is called Strategic Planning, Planning to Win. It's a step-by-step question and answer book on how to build and develop a strategic plan. I'm going to close with this. Everybody says to me, I have a strategic plan. Most of the strategic plans that people have, they're like trophies. They sit up on the shelf and they're not utilized until the next year when they bring them down and they start looking at what I said I was going to do and what I'm going to do different this year. This book and every strategic plan is a working document. So you should be challenging yourself at least once a quarter on how you're going to get better and how you're going to do better. So that's my gift to your people that stay to the end, and I appreciate you having me on tonight, and I wish you the best, and if I can help in any way, I'm just a phone call away.
Thank you so much, Velton. And listeners, please text 954-329-0281, Transformation 19. Thank you, Velton. Thank you. So I would like to give a special.
Good night.
You too. I would like to give a special thanks to two of my mentors, Tammy Collins Marquis and John Schamberger. Also, I would like to give a special thanks to Dr. Larry White Sr. and author Kimberly McLemore. You all may follow me on Facebook at Ashley Little and on Instagram at _Ashley A. Little. Thank you.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Creating Your Seat at the Table, where Ashley speaks with corporate professionals, celebrities, entrepreneurs, authors, and speakers who are transitioning or have transitioned to entrepreneurship.